So hello to everybody and welcoming all of you people for online classes of Diamond Group of Institution. I am Chandrasekhar, Faculty of Zoology, and today I am going to be discuss a new topic that is called breathing and exchange of gases. Now we will discuss some of the related questions in this class. Okay. Now the questions are related to the breathing and exchange of gases. The first question is like this: the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide by blood happen with the help of. Now the options are given like this: A option WBC and blood serum. Just here the WBC is always concerned with the phagocytic nature and helpful in the protection of the internal parts, not involving the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And blood serum, once you include the clotting pigments from the plasma, then it is treated as the blood serum itself. And B option is RBC and WBC. You know that RBC is not responsible for the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide from the human body. WBC are usually involved in the phagocytic nature or engulf the microorganism. And C option is the RBC and blood plasma. You know that the blood plasma and the RBC are responsible for the proper transport of the oxygen and carbon dioxide itself. You know that here the 3% of the oxygen can be transported by the blood plasma, whereas the RBC will be transport the remaining 97% of the oxygen to the different tissues of the body. In case of course, carbon dioxide can be transported from body to the surroundings in 3 other ways. 7% the blood plasma will be look after the supply of 7%. And 23% of the carbon dioxide can be expelled by the hemoglobin in the form of carbaminohemoglobin, and 70% of the carbon dioxide can be transported by the RBC in the form of carbamino or carbonic acid. Or here the 70% of the carbon dioxide can be transported in the form of bicarbonates. That's why among the 4 of the options, C option is correct option for this question. That is the RBC and blood plasma, and D the platelets and plasma itself. The platelets, you know that total calorie of the blood cells of the blood of human being, which are always involved in the clotting of the blood, whereas the plasma will be helpful in the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide, but it is partially correct. Among the ABCD, C is correct option for this question. So I am concluding to of the C option for this question. And after that we go for the next question. Breathing is controlled in our body. Breathing is controlled by options are like this: lungs. Of course, lungs are involved in the collection of oxygen and of course collection of the carbon dioxide. The lungs are not in a position to control the breathing itself. And the hypothalamus, the bottom parts of the forebrain, which is also not connected with the controlling of breathing itself. And C option is the trachea. Of course, trachea is acts like a pipe. Of course, trachea will be helpful to transport the oxygen from the lungs into the various tissues, and as well as it can be helpful to export or coming out of the carbon dioxide, permit the outcome of the carbon dioxide from the body into the surrounding. But trachea is not at all controlling the breathing of the human body. And D option is the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata is the parts and parcel of the hindbrain, and the medulla oblongata is simply associated with the pons varolii, and of course the medulla oblongata along the pons varolii is controlling the breathing of the human body. So this is the D option is the correct option for this question. And after that we go for the next question. The blue baby syndrome results from. The blue baby syndrome is nothing but a defective characters are so far present in a newborn baby. What is the cause of that? A option is excess of dissolved oxygen, which is it is not at all connected with the blue baby syndrome, and B option is excess of TDS, total dissolved solids. If the excess is present in the blood, it is not at all causing the blue baby syndrome. Only C option is the excess of chloride, which is also not concerned with this. The D option is the metahemoglobin is the main cause. What do you mean of that? If the newborn baby may be inhaled the less oxygenated atmospheric air, that is one of the cause. The respiratory system of this infant is unable to supply the sufficient amount of the oxygen to the each and every part of its own body. Not only that, if the infant or newly born baby may be inhaled the atmospheric air which is rich in the NO3 itself, nitrates. If the nitrate may be dissolved in the plasma and converted into nitrates itself. The nitrate, the formation of the nitrate in the blood of the baby, that is not permit the blood to transport the sufficient amount of the oxygen to the each and every part of the body. So that is the reason the baby is suffering from some of the defective characters. Those defective characters of the baby can be named as the blue baby syndrome itself. Now among the ABC, D the correct option for this. That is the metahemoglobin is the cause of a formation and affecting the blue baby syndrome itself. That's why I'm opting the D option for this question. Now we go for another question. The partial pressure of oxygen in the alveolar air. The partial pressure of the oxygen in the alveolar air is, the options are like this: 45 mmHg. Here the partial pressure of oxygen is 45 mmHg is always present near to the tissues itself. So the low partial pressure is naturally dissociate the oxyhemoglobin at the site of the tissues and break down the oxyhemoglobin into oxygen and hemoglobin. Oxygen is well supplied to the tissues and immediately the carbon dioxide can be attracted by the hemoglobin to convert it into carbaminohemoglobin and to send out. And here 95 mmHg itself. So it is also not present in alveolar. So the oxygenated blood will be containing this. And 104 mmHg is the right answer for this question because of the alveolar air will be contained the more oxygen pressure by the effect of inhaling of atmospheric air. So inhaled atmospheric air is naturally carry the more amount of the oxygen into the lungs. That's why the alveolar air is naturally having the maximum partial pressure of the alveolar air. The maximum oxygen pressure may be present in the alveolar air. It is naturally binded with the oxygen to convert into oxyhemoglobin itself. That is the only way to transport the oxygen into the tissues of the body itself. So that's why 104 mmHg is naturally present as the oxygen partial pressure in the alveolar air. D the 110 mmHg is also not concerned with that. And after that, the correct option for this question is the C option itself. Now I am going to be select the C option for this question. And after that, we go for the other question. Which one of the following can bind several 100 times more strongly to the Hb than O2? So you know that the options are like this: A carbon monoxide, B the carbon dioxide, C the sulfur dioxide, and D the hydrogen bicarbonate, H2CO3 itself. Okay. Now among the four of the options, certainly carbon monoxide is the correct option because of carbon monoxide is having more attraction or more affinity toward the hemoglobin than oxygen. So that's why if the inhaled atmospheric air may contain the carbon monoxide more, and certainly carbon monoxide while they are enters into the blood of a man which is not permit the hemoglobin to attract the oxygen. So that's why the more affinity of the carbon dioxide is present toward the hemoglobin cell. The correct option for this question is the carbon monoxide cell. And after that you go for the next question. Lungs are enclosed. What are the layers can enclose the lungs for the safety or proper function of the lungs in inhalation and expiration also? And A, the pericardium membrane. A option, pericardium membrane means the chondroblast cells are look after the secretion of cartilage, and whatever the layer is externally covering the chondroblast cells of the cartilage, which is simply called the pericardium membrane itself. And B option, the pericardium. Pericardium is a specialized peritoneal membrane which can be covering the hard part of the human being, that will be called as the pericardium. And C option is the pleural membrane. The pleural membrane is the correct option, which is always covering or surrounding the pair of pink colored lungs which are present in the thoracic cavity of the human body. That is called pleural membrane. Of course, the pleural membranes are two types: parietal membrane and visceral membrane. The parietal membrane can be covering the external surface of the lungs and as well as chest, or else the parietal membrane is covering the diaphragm and chest, whereas the visceral membrane can be covering the lungs itself. In between two of the membranes, certainly there is a presence of pleural fluid can be present. The pleural fluid is always helpful in the prevention of the friction in between two of the lungs itself. So in that way, and the option is the peritoneum. Peritoneum is one of the membrane which is originated from the mesodermal epithelium, or is mesoderm of the body wall itself. Among the four of the option, the C option is correct because of the lungs are enclosed in pleural membrane itself. So, okay, after discussing some of the questions related to the breathing and exchange of gases, now we go for other questions. The questions are as follows. The amount of oxygen supplied by 100 ml of 100 ml AGL blood while passing through the tissue is. Once again I am read out the question. Amount of oxygen supplied by 100 ml arterial blood while passing through the tissue is. Options are as like 0.4 to 0.05 ml. They not related with this. And B option is the 5 ml. And just each 100 ml of the blood is supplied by the arterial blood to the tissues of the body. Certainly it can be supplied the only 5 ml of the oxygen itself. So that's why the B option is correct option for this question. So that's why I am opting B. And regarding the C itself, 14 to 15 ml of the blood, which is also not concerned with this. And D option, 19 to 20 ml of the oxygen is not supposed to release by the arterial blood to the each and every cell of the body. Only for sake of this question, the B option is correctly placed here. That will be equivalent to the 5 ml of blood. 5 ml of oxygen is released by the 100 ml of arterial blood itself. Now I too will go for the B, and after that you go for the other question. A person suffers punctures in his chest in an accident without any damage to the lungs. It would be resulting. So fortunately he was faced and just is suffering from the damage. Unfortunately, only the little damage. The damage is luckily not damage in the lungs of the person, but little punctures are so far observed by the people on the chest region itself. If the punctures are maybe affect the chest, not damaging the lungs, what would be the results in the human body? So now the options are like this. A option is given like this: decrease in breathing rate. Because of the lungs are not so damaged, certainly the breathing rate and the decrease in breathing rate is not affected. And B option is the rapid increase in breathing rate itself. So here, as usual, the normal state of the lungs can be present in a person who is affected with the accident. So increasing rate of lungs is also not affected. And C, the no change in breathing rate. itself. Of course, so little change is there, that will be called gradually the cessation of the breathing. The rate of breathing is a little affected because of the chest part, particularly the two of the parts like the diaphragm is also present. Not only that, the intercostal muscles can be present and which are attached to the ribs itself. External intercostal muscles and internal intercostal muscles may be present. If the external intercostal muscles are little damaged by the effect of puncture on the chest part, so in that way, if they are affected, certainly the cessation of the breathing will be affected. That's why, for sake of this question, among the four of the options, like D option is correct. Cessation of breathing will be affected by the effect of punctures on the chest of a person who faces the accident itself. Now, next question is the warming up and conditioning of respiratory air are brought about in the warming and conditioning. So that means if the atmospheric air is inhaled into the respiratory tract through the nostrils are permit the atmospheric air into the northern chambers, and northern chamber is acts like a natural air conditioner. It is very important to do the three of the functions like the dust particles may be carried along the atmospheric air. It is very clear of that. Humidification is also takes place, and after that it is always warm up the atmospheric air, and then the northern chamber is acts like a natural air condition to maintain a certain temperature of the atmospheric air according to the seasons of environment itself. Now options are like this. A option, northern chamber is the correct answer. B option, the trachea. Trachea is only passing and transport the oxygen from one part to the another part. And bronchi is nothing but the trachea can be divided to right and left bronchi. And the bronchioles are nothing but the sub-branches of the bronchi can be named by the bronchioles itself. For sake of this question, A option is correct because of warming and conditioning of the atmospheric air is always affected by the northern chamber itself, maintained by the northern chamber. That's why opting A option for this question and go for the other. Now we go for the other question. The carbon dioxide transported via blood to lungs mostly. Options are like this. In combination with hemoglobin only. No, not at all that. And be dissolved in your blood plasma. No, just here. The C in the form of carbonic acid only. This is a little partial correct, and D option as carbaminohemoglobin and as well as carbonic acid also. That means the carbon dioxide can be dissolved in the plasma and as well as the liquids are the cytoplasm of the RBC itself. So that's why in two of the forms, when the carbon dioxide is separated to the lungs through the blood, in the combination of the carbaminohemoglobin and as well as the carbonic acid itself. That's why, for sake of this question, and D option is the correct option for this. So that, and I too opt the D option for this question. Next question is the level, just the partial pressure. The partial pressure of oxygen is maximum. A option is the arterial blood, and B the alveoli, and C the venous blood, and D the expired air itself. The first one is the arterial blood. What do you mean of arterial blood? The artery is a kind of blood vessels which are always look after a collection of the pure blood from the left ventricle and passing it into each and every cell of the body. So that's why the arterial blood is naturally having the maximum partial pressure of the oxygen for sake of supplying a adequate amount of the oxygen to the each and every cell of the internal parts of the human body itself. Of course, alveolar air is also having the little more of the partial pressure of the oxygen. When you compare with the arterial blood, less partial pressure can be present. And after that, C option is the venous blood. Venous blood is nothing but deoxygenated blood can be carried by the different veins from the internal parts and supplied to the heart part itself. That's why venous blood is naturally contains maximum pressure of the carbon dioxide D option is the expired air. Expired air is naturally carrying the maximum amount of the carbon dioxide in place of oxygen itself. That's why I am concluding to select the first option, that is called arterial blood, is the only source of having the maximum pressure of the oxygen itself. That's why A option is correct option for this question itself. And after that, next question is which structure of man is similar to spinal of cockroach? Which structure of man is similar to the spinal of cockroach? Just once you remember the respiratory system of the cockroach is the unique system which is existed in the form of tracheal system. The tracheal system is well advanced in the arthropoda and directly involving the supply of oxygen to the tissues of the body and simultaneously collecting the carbon dioxide from the tissues and send it out itself. The spiracles are the first structure. The spiracles are 10 pairs, and out of 10 pairs, 2 of the spiracles are so far present in the thoracic part, and 8 of the remaining 8 pairs of the spiracles can be present in the abdominal part itself. The spiracle, why I am saying that? The spiracles are epaulate structures and which are naturally present on the pleurons of the each segment of the thoracic and as well as abdominal segments. And the thoracic spiracles are always permit the atmospheric air to enter into the tracheal system, whereas abdominal spiracles are helpful to expel the carbon dioxide from the body of cockroach into the surrounding itself. So like that here also, the nostrils are comparable with the spiracles of the cockroach because of the spiracles are the only source of permit the inhaled atmospheric air. Like that here also, the nostrils of our respiratory system of human body is also permit the inhaling of atmospheric air into the lungs itself. So that's why I am opting A option for this question. And normally we discuss the B option, branchiole. The branchiole is nothing but the sub-branch of the bronchus. The bronchus is nothing but the branch of the trachea itself. The lungs are helpful to receive the atmospheric air and as well as the expiratory air itself. D, the alveoli. The alveoli is nothing but the functional unit of the lungs where a proper exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide can be effective. So here the comparable part of the human being, that is called nostril, which is equivalent to the spiracle of the cockroach. So that's why I am opting A option for this question. Next question is in higher animals, respiratory and circulatory systems get linked for physiological studies because options are like this. Heart and lungs lie close. No, not at all. Of course, the heart and lung close together, but that is not a purpose of studying the physiology. And being both organs are found in the same thoracic cavity. Of course, the lungs and heart is also closely associated while they are present in the same thoracic cavity. And being the breathing and heartbeats are going on automatically. It is not at all concerned with the physical study of the respiratory and circulatory system. And D option is the blood circulatory system. So what is the main purpose of the circulatory system? So with the help of respiratory system, certain the inhaled oxygen is carried into the lungs, and when the inhaled oxygen is simply attracted by the hemoglobin of the blood is the only system to circulate the oxygen to the each and every tissue of the body along with the digested food particles itself. So that's why the D option is the correct option. It is the blood circulatory system to facilitate the supply of oxygen, and there is a need of respiratory system. Of course, if there is no presence of the respiratory system, inhaled oxygen is not supposed to carry into the lungs of the body itself. If the inhaled oxygen is carried into the lungs, if the circulatory system is not present, of course the circulatory system is the only system which can be circulate the inhaled oxygen. That's why there is a close link up in between circulatory system to the respiratory system in the higher animals like human being. That's why we are going to opt the D option itself. Now the next question is mammalian lungs have an enormous number of the minute alveoli, air sacs. This is true alone. Options are like this. More surface for diffusion. Of course, the diffusion is not supposed to take place directly through the lungs into the blood itself. Only the more space for increasing the volume of the inspiratory air itself. If the body of human being is badly in need of more amount and more volume of the oxygen, certainly the elasticity nature of the lungs as well as the number of alveoli which are confined to the lungs of the human body is helpful to inhale the maximum amount of the atmospheric air and that ultimately increase the volume of the air that will be supplied to the each and every part of the body of human being when the human body is need of that. So that's why the B option is correct option for this question. In case of C, more blood supply to keep the lungs working. It is not at all concerned with this. And D option, none of this. It is all. D option is also not concerned with. Only the B option is the correct option for this question itself. So I am opting the B option as the correct option for this question. And after that, I am concluding by explaining one of the last question of this topic, that is called a person breathing normally at rest takes in and expels approximately half of a liter of the air during each respiratory cycle. This is called A is the inspiratory reserve value, B is the tidal value, and C is the expiratory reserve value, and D is the vital capacity itself. And A, B, C are not concerned with this. Only the D option is the concerned option, that is called vital capacity itself. So I am also opting the D option for this question. And not only that, in that way I am concluding today's class with this question. And thank you for everybody. And we meet with another topic in another class. Thank you.